So Pro Football Focus, they rank players based on their game film. So this is purely based on production and stuff. I always find it interesting because it's an unbiased source, right? They have Michigan's running back Blake Corum is one of the top players. He's a Heisman candidate, the highest graded running back in the country with the 93.4 mark. And I think he led all positions. They also highlighted Notre Dame offensive tackle Joe Alt and Cincinnati interior defensive lineman Dante Corleone, which is like a 92.8 grade. And he's a redshirt freshman. He's the highest graded defender in college football. So in terms of like people bidding an NIL era, how hard do you think teams are going to go after him to try to get him to jump from Cincinnati? Because by the time Cincinnati joins the Big 12, he might be pro. That's the one thing with some of these. Like, this is looking at your pro potential. You're a redshirt freshman now. You can transfer and do whatever. If you're going to put up bigger stats at a bigger program, I think that's an issue for some of these guys. But with Corum, I thought it was interesting that he's grading so high because Michigan's running game, they have like a two-headed monster at this point with Donovan Edwards also getting a bunch of carries and Edwards having a better time receiving out of the backfield, it seems. So in terms of like Michigan finally getting a running back drafted high, I don't even know if running backs go in the first round anymore. Corum might be the guy that kind of breaks that curse. What do you think, Matt?
Well, everyone always, I mean, there's a chance he can get drafted high, but I feel like in the NFL, they're always looking at running backs. Like the thing is, running backs are dime a dozen in the NFL. That why would you draft in the first round? I mean, everyone's knocking Najee Harris right now, saying, "Well, you could have just they picked up Warren in the 6th or 7th round, and he's going to be just as productive." Like, I don't know.
That's why I think Donovan Edwards from Michigan, he's a former 5-star running back. He's a backup right now. I think in terms of like pro potential, just because he's a great receiver, they even said, I don't know if it was Harbaugh or one of the offensive coaches said in an interview last game that he might be the best receiver on the team. And I think that type of dynamic as a running back is going to get you drafted higher because I think the NFL drafts more on talent than it does pure stats. Hassan Haskins, drafted high. I guess he's like the mid-round, high for Michigan running back. He's been playing pretty well for the Titans. I don't know if Corum gets as high as him, but it'll be interesting to see. Also on our list here, quarterbacks, Matt. North Carolina. I mentioned them as being, are they just a system for quarterbacks? They have Drake May on here grading high. Then they have Trubisky coming out of there. How many quarterbacks are going to come out of there ranked high that aren't really going to work out in the NFL? To me, I'm not sold on North Carolina.
But I think that Trubisky system quarterback thing, like, that was however many coaches ago. Well, it wasn't even Chiswick when Trubisky was there.
Well, Chiswick's a defensive coordinator only, but it would have been, what's the old guy? The guy from Texas. What's his name?
Mac Brown. He wouldn't have been there that long.
I'm going to look it up right now. Oh, maybe he was. No, I guess he has been drafted for a while. I thought he was drafted during the show. No, 2017. When did Mac Brown get there? Yeah, his head. Oh no, wait. This doesn't give me a good timeline. Wikipedia. Oh no, he wasn't there. So who was his coach?
Fedora.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was Larry Fedora. So maybe you're right. Maybe it isn't a system thing that they have going. But I also found it interesting that your boy Jordan Travis from Florida State is ranking really high.
Oh, I don't think he should be ranked very high at all.
Well, I've seen him play, and I've seen a lot of questionable decisions, and I wouldn't even have been surprised if they had benched him and went with someone else.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Probably just give him a 5th red shirt and let him just sit out another year so that he comes back.
You mean like the Sean Clifford thing that Penn State does where they just roll out a guy forever and the fans are like, put the rookie in, put the freshman in.
No. Like Florida, part of it, that skid, he was also a little bit banged up too. And Florida State will be as good as Jordan Travis lets them be. When he's playing well, they're all statistically one of the top offenses in the country. It's kind of reminding me of some of those good Florida State teams that were scoring a lot of points and kicking ass and taking names. But it they'll only be as successful as Travis takes them because his decision making for the most part is good. I think there's times where right now he gets ahead of himself and tries to do a little bit too much. Like he did end up throwing one or two interceptions against Miami that were like trying to make plays happen instead of just taking what they were given in front. But he played out of his mind Saturday night.
And I was getting a little confused. Sam Howell's the other quarterback that I'm thinking of that just got drafted from there. I don't know
Yes.
why the hell I'm thinking Trubisky. I must be. It's getting too late. It's getting too late for me. But we don't know enough on him to know if this is going to be just a system thing where North Carolina is putting quarterbacks in the NFL consistently. Plus, Mac Brown is super old. So is he even going to be coaching for much longer? He's 71. That's kind of around what Nick Saban is, right? So who do you think retires first, Mac Brown or Nick Saban?
Saban.
Maybe you're right. Maybe Mac Brown hangs on unless he goes out on top with a national championship this year.